Welcome to the first episode of our English Learning Podcast. I'm Emma, and I'm here with my co-host, Jake. We're excited to bring you advanced level conversations that will help you sharpen your English skills. How are you doing today, Jake?
Hi, Emma. I'm doing great. Hello to all our listeners out there. We're thrilled to have you join us. Today, we'll dive into some engaging topics that are perfect for those of you looking to take your English to the next level.
That's right. Today's episode is all about small talk and deep conversations, two essential skills for advanced English learners. We'll start with some casual chit-chat and gradually move into more complex discussions. Are you ready, Jake?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
Let's kick things off with something light. Jake, what's the first thing you usually talk about when you meet someone new?
I typically start with the weather. It's a classic topic that's easy for everyone to engage with. For example, I might say, "It's been quite rainy this week, hasn't it?" It's simple, but it gets the conversation rolling.
Definitely. The weather is a great icebreaker. Another one I like to use is asking about someone's weekend plans. It's a natural way to show interest and learn more about the person. Something like, "Any exciting plans for the weekend?"
Exactly. And from there, you can branch out into other topics like hobbies or current events. It's important to keep the tone light and friendly.
Right. Let's give our listeners an example. Imagine we just met at a conference. I'll start. "Hi, I'm Emma. Nice to meet you. Are you enjoying the event so far?"
Hi, Emma. I'm Jake. Yeah, it's been great. The keynote speaker this morning was really inspiring. How about you?
Absolutely. I found the session on digital marketing particularly interesting. Have you attended any other sessions?
I did, actually. I went to one on content creation that had some really useful tips. Are you in marketing?
Yes, I am. I work as a digital strategist. What about you?
I'm a content creator. I love exploring new trends in the industry.
See how natural that felt. We went from weather to work, all in a matter of minutes.
Once you're comfortable with small talk, you can start steering the conversation towards deeper topics. This is where your advanced English skills can really shine.
Absolutely. Moving from small talk to a more meaningful discussion takes a bit of finesse. You want to find common ground first, and then ask open-ended questions.
For example, after discussing the weather or weekend plans, you might transition by saying, "I've been thinking a lot about work-life balance lately. How do you manage your time between work and personal life?"
That's a great way to shift gears. It invites the other person to share their thoughts and experiences, leading to a more enriching conversation.
Another technique is to share something personal that connects to the topic at hand. For instance, I recently read an article about the importance of disconnecting from work. It made me rethink my daily routine. Have you read anything interesting lately?
I love that approach. It shows you're willing to share and encourages the other person to do the same. Plus, it opens up the floor for a discussion that can go in many different directions.
Exactly. Let's give our listeners another example.
Sure, let's say we've just finished talking about work. I might say, "You mentioned you're a content creator. How do you stay inspired, especially when you hit a creative block?"
That's a good question. I find that taking a step back and immersing myself in different experiences helps. Whether it's reading a book or exploring nature, I try to find inspiration outside of work. What about you? How do you stay motivated in your role?
For me, it's all about setting small goals. When I see progress, it keeps me motivated. I also make sure to balance my time with hobbies that I enjoy. It helps me recharge.
See how we smoothly transition from a professional topic to a more personal one? That's the kind of flow you want in advanced conversations.
Now that we've covered some examples, let's dive into the vocabulary and expressions we used. These will be incredibly useful for our listeners.
Definitely. For small talk, phrases like "how are you finding" or "any exciting plans for" are handy. They're open-ended and invite the other person to elaborate.
And for deeper conversations, expressions like "I've been thinking about" or "what's your take on" can help you introduce more complex topics in a natural way.
It's also useful to use words that show interest and engagement, like fascinating, inspiring, or thought-provoking. These add depth to your responses.
Another tip is to vary your sentence structure. Instead of always using I think, try phrases like in my opinion or from my perspective. It makes your speech sound more advanced.
Great advice, Emma. Remember, listeners, the more you practice these phrases and structures, the more natural they'll become.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you found these tips helpful and that you're ready to incorporate them into your conversations.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more advanced English lessons. And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.
We'd also love to hear from you. What topics would you like us to cover in future episodes? Let us know in the comments below.
Until next time, keep practicing and keep pushing those language boundaries. Goodbye.
Goodbye.